Moving on to our second easiest way to solve systems, which is substitution. We did substitution back in KC1, which was one of the first units when we started the school year. Okay, they were pretty easy. Okay, why? Because you had, for example, an equation of x plus 3 when when x equals, I don't know, let's say 4. They're telling you that x equals 4. All we have to do was plug it in, substitute it for x. X is 4, so this will be 4 plus 3, right? Now all we have to do was add, so my answer will be 7. That's something the same way that we're doing here, but now we're doing it with systems, okay? The difference is that x, for example, in this case, x was 4. It was another number, right? Now it's going to be another equation, which is fine. We know how to do this, okay? So for example, you could only do this when the system given to you is in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. And again, how do I know it's in slope-intercept form? Well, y equals mx plus b. When y is by itself and we have a whole equation on the right side, that is the slope-intercept form. Again, this substitution method only works when we have slope-intercept form. Okay, as you can see, I do have a slope-intercept form, and it's going to be y equals x minus 1. That means that y equals x minus 1, right? They already gave you how much is y, okay? They gave you the second system, which is 2x minus y equals negative 7. I just rewrote it, okay? If I know y equals x minus 1, that means that I can plug it in for y. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to substitute it. It's 2x minus, and again, since I'm substituting, I'm going to put it in parentheses. X minus 1, okay, equals negative 7. Again, y, where do I get this from? From the equation right here. Okay, instead of writing y again, I'm going to write what y equal to, which is x minus 1. All right, now we have to distribute. Don't forget, we have to distribute. What does distribute mean? Okay. Distribute means that you have to multiply. You got to get rid of that parenthesis by multiplying the number outside the parentheses. In this case, I don't have a number. I do have a sign. Remember, we learned this in KC1. I have a negative. Technically, I have a negative 1. It's an imaginary 1, and I have to multiply this negative 1. I have to distribute with x and then negative 1. So technically, I'm going to have 2x. Negative 1 times x is going to give me negative x. Negative 1 times negative 1 gives me positive 1. Then again, I have everything else the same. Okay, next thing you have to do, and we should already remember this, is combine like terms before you solve anything. And again, you learned this in our first Nearpod last week. Combined like terms are the ones that have the same terms, okay, the same variables. As you can see, 2x and x are the same. That is saying 2x minus x. Remember, I have an imaginary 1, so that's saying 2x minus 1x, which is just going to give me x. And everything else stays the same. Plus 1 equals negative 7. Okay, now we have a regular equation where we're solving x, so we need the variable to be by itself. How do I get x to be by itself? Well, I need to get rid of all the numbers on that side. And remember, we always start with the side that has the most terms. X plus 1 has 2 terms. Negative 7 has 1. That means I need to get rid of one term on the left side. And that side is going to be 1. Why? Because it matches the number on the right. So to get rid of a number, remember, you have to do the opposite. The opposite of a positive 1 is going to be negative 1. And let me change my color here. negative 1. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do it to the other side. Okay, so now I have x equals negative 1 minus 1 is just going to be negative 8. All right, now I'm not done. Remember all my answers, whether you solve this graphically, substitution, or elimination, they have to be in coordinate point. To have a coordinate point, I need the value of y now because I already know the value of x. Okay, so technically, let me put it right here. If I'm writing my answer as a coordinate point, I already have the value of x. But what about the y? Okay, I need to go back and substitute again. Remember the equation y equals x minus 1? Remember, we already know that y has to equal x minus 1. We already know how much is x. X is negative 1. So all we have to do is substitute for x. So y equals x is negative 8. Remember, we put everything that we substitute in parentheses. Everything else stays the same. Alright, so now negative 8 minus 1 gives me negative 9. Okay, so now I know the answer for y. Y will be negative 9. So this right here is my final answer.